My father stood in the middle of my beach house, running his hand across the marble counter I paid for. He smiled, not at me, but at the space. "This would be perfect for your brother's family." I just smiled back and made one call. I grew up in the shadows of perfect. My stepbrother got the new clothes. I got his hand-me-downs, frayed collars, and stretched-out sleeves. He got the first plate at dinner. I got what was left. And every time I asked why, the answer was the same: be grateful. Gratitude was their leash, and I wore it for years. At first, I thought it was normal, that maybe love just meant sacrificing more, asking less. My stepbrother's wins were celebrated with cake and balloons. My achievements, scholarships, medals, barely a nod. I told myself it didn't matter, that one day I'd build something of my own. And when I did, maybe they'd finally see me. But the truth was harder. They saw me. They just didn't care. The betrayal wasn't a single moment. It was a pattern, carved deep. The whispers of money invested in my brother's ventures while I worked double shifts. The phone calls about family vacations, always booked when I couldn't go. The silence when I needed help. The open wallet when he needed rescue. I tested it once, asked my father for a small loan. He sighed, eyes heavy with disappointment. "You need to learn to stand on your own." 2 weeks later, I overheard him wiring 10 times that amount to my brother. That night, I stopped asking, but I didn't rage, I didn't beg, I planned. While they treated me like spare change, I studied balance sheets. While my brother burned through money, I learned how to multiply mine. Every rejection was fuel. Every slight was a blueprint. I bought my first property quietly. Then another. Then the beach house. All cash. No cosigners. No one's name but mine. And I waited. Because revenge is patient. So there we were. My father touring my beach house like a realtor, not a guest. My brother wasn't even there, yet his ghost filled the room. This would be perfect for his family. He looked at me expectantly, as if my role was obvious. Hand it over, step aside, smile while doing it. Old habits almost answered for me. Almost. But then I remembered every be grateful, every leftover meal, every slammed door when I needed a place to sleep. I slipped my phone out of my pocket and dialed. "Now," I said into the receiver. Minutes later, a man in a suit walked in, my lawyer, folder in hand. He set it on the counter between us. "What's this?" my father asked, his smile faltering. I leaned forward. Calm, precise. Deeds, titles, proof of ownership. This house, the rentals, the condos, all mine. Paid in full. His brows knit. "That's not what I cut him off. "No, it's not. You thought I'd build just so he could inherit. That I'd keep living in his shadow, funding his failures. That ends today." My lawyer slid another paper across the counter. A foreclosure notice. Not for me, for my brother. His last business venture had tanked harder than they realized. And when the bank came for the collateral, guess whose name was on the line? My father's. I watched the color drain from his face, watched his lips part, searching for words that wouldn't come. That silence, that stunned, breathless silence, was the moment I'd been waiting for my entire life. "You put everything on me," I said softly. "The blame, the scraps, the weight. And you gave him everything else. Now he's sinking, and you're sinking with him." And I glanced around at the house, the ocean glittering beyond the windows. I'm untouchable. My father finally spoke, voice cracking. "We're family." I smiled. "No, we were a transaction, and you already collected your share." The meeting ended with slammed doors and threats. But threats can't touch what's already fortified. I built walls they'll never climb, accounts they'll never see, properties they'll never step foot in. The next week, my father called. Not to apologize, not to reconcile, but to plead. Your brother has nowhere to go. His kids. I hung up. Because I remember being a kid with nowhere to go, and no one ever picked up the phone for me. Now, when I walk through my beach house, I hear nothing but the waves. No commands, no comparisons, just freedom. Sometimes I picture my stepbrother driving past, family crammed into a rental, watching me through tinted glass. I hope he sees the lights glowing from my windows. I hope he knows what it feels like to be on the outside looking in, because that's where I lived my entire childhood. And now, it's his turn. I grew up wearing his hand-me-downs, eating his leftovers, being told to be grateful. Now, I own everything they thought I never would. And when my father tried to hand it all back to him, I gave him something better: silence, and the sound of the ocean washing away everything they ever took from me.